This is the Fujifilm XQ1, a forgotten gem of a compact camera, and despite its age and size, it can deliver results like this. I've been shooting with the Fujifilm XQ1 for a little while now, and I'm pleasantly surprised with just how good this little compact camera is. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what it can do. I'll show you both some JPEGs and RAW images. I'll go through the specs and features of this camera. I'll give you some tips for shooting with it, and I'll even share a custom recipe that I've created at the end of this video. But before we get into that, I'm going to tell you about the first time I took this camera out to shoot with it and how I ended up creating a mini collection of photographs. I was taking a walk to the supermarket down the riverbank in York. It's a walk I've done 1,000 times before. I took this photo of a wall with some graffiti on because I enjoyed the colours. Walking further down the road, I noticed this composition of machinery. It struck me that it also had a similar colour palette to the graffiti wall, and a concept for a mini-series featuring primary colours was my challenge. On my way back, I spotted a yellow car, and then a blue boat with a red life ring. And finally, as I was nearing home, a man cycled past me with a red coat on, and I hoped he would cycle over the blue bridge. I was ready and I captured this final image of the series. I shot those images in RAW and edited them in Lightroom on my iPad, and I used the Fujifilm XQ1 Soft film simulation as a baseline. We'll visit film simulations and raw images later in this video, but before we go any further, let's have a look at some of the basic specs of this fantastic little camera. The Fujifilm XQ1 has a 12 megapixel sensor, which is 2/3 of an inch. It also has a zoom lens, which is a 25 to 100mm equivalent, opens up as wide as f1.8, and it also has some image stabilization. The autofocus is a hybrid contrast autofocus, and it's pretty good for the age and the size of this camera. It also has a 3-inch LCD screen on the back. It's got a small pop-up flash for low light and nighttime photography, and some basic built-in Fujifilm recipes. One of the best features is you can create your own custom film recipe and save it to the custom dial on the top of the camera, and that's exactly what I did for the next set of images. These were shot at Port Mulgrave, and I'll share my custom recipe at the end of this video. Port Mulgrave is a former ironstone exporting port on the North Yorkshire coast, built in the 1850s, but as ore reserves declined, the port slowly fell into disuse. By the 1920s, it was largely redundant. During World War II, the harbour was deliberately destroyed to prevent it from being used as a point for invasion. Today, what's left is a haunting, apocalyptic-looking harbour with old fishing huts and rusted machinery. It's a place where history and decay collide. As well as shooting those images with my own custom Fujifilm recipe, I also shot them in RAW, and I was absolutely blown away with what information I could pull from the RAW files. Let's take a quick look at one of the RAW images. And here's what I was able to do with it with some editing in Lightroom. I was really pleased with the colour and the information that I could pull out of that RAW file, especially in the sky. But one of my favourite things about this camera is just how small and pocketable it is. It's the perfect little memory maker and an absolutely awesome travel camera. I recently took this camera on a trip to Morocco. I shot these photos in JPEG at the villa that we were staying at using the Fujifilm XQ1 Soft Colour Profile. I also shot all of these images in the camera's program mode, where the camera dictates the ISO, shutter speed and aperture for you, and I was absolutely blown away by the quality of the images. It's so great to have a small pocketable camera that can do all of the work for you. The more I've used this fantastic compact little camera, the more I've fallen in love with it. And although you can shoot in full manual mode, shutter and aperture priority modes, and you can also completely customize how you want to shoot with that and save it to a custom setting, I've really been enjoying just using it in program mode and letting the camera do the work. After all, it's a tiny, pocketable, take everywhere, everyday memory maker. But for those of you that like a little bit more creative control, you can dial in your preferred settings using the menu and save them to the custom control on the function wheel. And this is how I created my own Fujifilm recipe for the XQ1. I started off with the base film simulation of Provia standard, and then I made some adjustments to the colour, the highlights and the shadows, and I also dialed in a fixed white balance of 5300 Kelvin and made some colour adjustments to the white balance as well. I'll put all those settings on the screen for you. The battery life on the Fuji XQ1 will last you around about a day, which is pretty great for a small pocketable camera. However, as I was travelling to Morocco, I decided to pick up some extra batteries from eBay, and I also picked up a charger from Amazon. Now the great thing about this charger is it's got a USB-C connection. You can charge batteries in camera, but it's a micro USB connection because it's an old camera, and let's face it, no one uses those anymore. And although the camera is small enough to pop in your pocket and take it anywhere, I did pick up this low pro case for it, which has been absolutely fantastic because it's got a small zip pocket on the front that you can pop your extra spare batteries in if you need to. The XQ1 does have Wi-Fi connectivity and you can send JPEGs wirelessly to your phone. However, it's proper slow, so I'd advise getting one of these USB card readers and just doing it via wire transfer instead. The Fujifilm XQ1 is an absolutely fantastic pocketable compact camera, one that you can just chuck in your pocket, take it everywhere with you, capture some great images and make some great memories with. I think it absolutely blows away every other little digicam I've ever used, and I'm really pleased with it. So if you're thinking about getting one, I'd highly recommend it. That being said, my favourite camera for travel and street photography is the Fujifilm X100F. So if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see some more of my photography, check out this video where I took the X100F to Barcelona to do some street photography, where I captured some of my all-time favourite images. If you'd like to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.